She wasn't just playing for herself, she was carrying the weight of every dreamer back home who once looked at a tennis court and thought, maybe, just maybe, someone like me could stand there too. Under the blinding lights of the Guangzhou Open semifinal, every heartbeat, every swing, every drop of sweat told a story of defiance. Alex Eala stepped onto that court not as an underdog, but as a symbol of possibility, a young woman from Manila facing the best in the world and daring to believe she belonged there. But tennis, like life, doesn't always reward the brave. Tonight, the scoreboard said she lost. Yet, everyone who watched knew that was only half the truth. Because the real story isn't written in numbers, it's written in heartbeats, in the quiet moments after the final point, when a player stands alone and decides whether to break or to rise. And Alex, she rose. Just a day before that heartbreak, Alex Eala was unstoppable. In the quarterfinals, she played like a storm in disguise, calm, fierce, and fearless. Alongside her partner Nadia Kachino, she faced taller, stronger opponents and never blinked. The first set was her statement to the world. Clean returns, sharp timing, every shot landing like a promise that she belonged. 6-3. The crowd could feel it, the rhythm, the fire, the certainty in her eyes. Then came the second set, and the battle deepened. Serves hit harder, rallies grew longer, pressure mounted, but Alex didn't flinch. Between points, she whispered to herself, a quiet vow to fight for every inch. She and Nadia held firm, turning defense into brilliance, sealing it 7-5. The arena erupted, and she walked off calm, head high, eyes glowing with purpose. That night, everyone called her brilliant, but what she showed was something rarer. Proof that the girl from Manila was no longer chasing dreams, she was living them. The semifinal had a different energy, bigger crowd, brighter lights, heavier expectations. Yet, Alex walked in, calm, eyes steady, heartbeat quiet, like she'd been there 100 times before. The match began with pure intensity. Every rally was a test of nerves, every point a duel of belief. The first set went into a tiebreak, and that's where she shined. She and Nadia played like one heartbeat, their communication effortless, their chemistry unbreakable. They took the tiebreak 7-6, and for a moment, it felt like destiny was on their side. But tennis can turn fast. In the second set, momentum slipped away. The opponents found their rhythm, and tiny errors began to appear, shots landing inches wide, returns clipping the net and falling back. The energy faded point by point until the set was gone, 3-6. Now, it all came down to the super tiebreak, 10 points to decide everything. And Alex fought like her soul was on fire. She dived for impossible shots, shouted after every winner, pushed until her body trembled. But sometimes effort isn't enough. The final score read 5-10. Her opponents raised their arms in victory, and Alex stood still, breathing heavy, eyes wet not from defeat but from the fire still burning inside. She walked off with grace, head high, because even in loss, she carried herself like a champion. For anyone watching, that night wasn't a loss, it was a moment of becoming. Alex Eala didn't leave the court defeated, she left transformed. The scoreboard couldn't capture what really happened because numbers don't show courage, or the way her eyes still burned with purpose even as the crowd quieted. People forget how young she is, barely in her 20s, already carrying the weight of a nation's hope on her shoulders. The pressure, the expectations, the endless comparisons, they would break most players. But Alex isn't most players. Her calm is her armor, her silence, her strength. She doesn't chase headlines or fame, she chases meaning. Every time she steps onto a court, it's not just tennis, it's something spiritual, a battle between who she was and who she's becoming. Even in heartbreak, her composure stands out. No excuses, no drama, just quiet grace. She understands that greatness isn't built on easy wins, it's shaped by nights like this, when everything hurts and you still stand tall. That quarterfinal win had already shown the world what Alex Eala was made of. The pressure was suffocating, the crowd restless, and the opponents relentless, but she turned that pressure into poetry. Her serve carried precision, her returns carried rhythm, and her connection with Nadia felt almost telepathic, two minds moving as one. Every point was a duel of willpower, and Alex never blinked first. At one critical moment, trailing by a break, she paused, took a breath, then unleashed a forehand down the line so sharp it sliced through the air like a declaration. That was her moment, the kind of moment that defines a player's soul. When the final point landed, sealing the victory 6-3, 7-5, she didn't just earn a spot in the semifinals, she earned the respect of everyone watching. Because it wasn't just about her skill, it was about her heart, her composure, her belief that she belonged. That match was a message to the tennis world. Eala isn't waiting for an invitation to greatness, she's already building it, one fearless swing at a time. This semifinal loss hurt not because she failed, but because she was so close enough to taste victory, close enough to see the trophy in her mind. It wasn't a collapse. It was a reminder of how thin the line is between triumph and heartbreak. For Alex, every tournament is more than a chase for points or titles. It's a fight for recognition, a chance to prove that a girl from the Philippines, with no path laid before her, can stand shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. When that final point slipped away, it wasn't the sound of defeat, it was the sound of a dream pausing, not ending. Because players like Alex don't stop here. They rest, they learn, and they rise again. Every heartbreak refines them. Every setback teaches them how to endure. And as painful as this night was, it was also beautiful because it showed the world what resilience looks like. Eala isn't just chasing trophies, she's chasing purpose. She plays for something far bigger than herself, for every Filipino child who dreams of holding a racket one day, for every parent watching from a small screen whispering, "That could be my daughter." She plays for the belief that greatness doesn't need privilege, only heart. Every time she steps onto the court, she carries the story of Southeast Asia with her, the grit, the warmth, the endless faith that hard work can rewrite destiny. What makes Alex different is that she doesn't need the spotlight, she becomes it. Her grace in defeat, her focus in chaos, her quiet fire, they're all proof that true champions are built long before the world starts calling them one. This loss doesn't define her, it refines her. It sharpens her, shapes her, and reminds her of the mission she's on to show that a girl from Manila can rise, not just to compete, but to inspire an entire generation to believe that nothing is impossible. So, what happens next? She rests, she heals, she reflects. But make no mistake, Eala will rise again because that's what real champions do. They turn pain into fuel, heartbreak into hunger, and disappointment into drive. This loss will haunt her, yes, but it will also guide her. It will remind her what's missing, what still needs to be sharpened, what can still be conquered. And the next time she steps onto a court, she won't just be playing to win a match, she'll be playing to rewrite this ending. Every serve will carry the memory of this night. Every point will be a step toward redemption. And when that moment comes, when she lifts the trophy that slipped through her hands tonight, the world will realize that this heartbreak wasn't the end. It was the beginning of something unstoppable. If you watch that semifinal, you know the feeling, the ache in your chest when a player gives everything and still walks away empty-handed. But that's the magic of Eala. She makes you believe again. Because she doesn't just represent tennis, she represents hope. Hope that no dream is too far. Hope that even small nations can raise great champions. Hope that grace and grit can live in the same heart. Her story isn't over, it's only just beginning. One day, when she lifts that big trophy and the world finally sees her for who she is, we'll remember this night, the silence, the heartbreak, the fight, and we'll understand why it had to happen. Because greatness doesn't appear overnight. It's built in moments like these. So if you're watching from home, don't mourn her loss, celebrate her courage. Because Eala didn't just play a match. She lived a moment that will echo through every young dreamer who dares to believe. And when she returns, stronger, fiercer, and hungrier, the world will know Eala isn't finished. She's only getting started.